This is the part where we're going to edit the spreadsheet so that we can map the spreadsheet. This is the event spreadsheet for a certain date as we format it to where we can use it in a mapping product. We get rid of some fields, the last field, the note field, we format it so where it's not wrapped. We unhide the bottom and delete the end of the report, the blank line under the report. I just make sure that we get all the data out from the bottom and from the far right. And then we save it as a different file. Ideally, you want to save it as the date that the report came out. Then we want to look at the fields in the report. Some of these columns, headings we want to delete. So I'm going through here and deleting these column fields that we don't want to view. The most important are the session date, session start time, session end time. Deleting a few more to get our standard format. Ideally, it would be nice to have just a regular report in this format so we wouldn't have to delete all these fields, all these columns. Okay, now that we have all the fields done, we want to make sure that each column heading is in the right with one word. The database doesn't like spaces and column headings, but before we do that, I actually name the tab the date as well, so I can differentiate it in the mapping product. So now I'm going through the headings and making them one word so that it would fit nicely into the database that we're shoving these into, so that we can read them properly and that we can map them. Okay, looks like we're good there, and we save it. And now we close out of here. Of Excel, we don't need Excel anymore. We're going to go and open up our mapping product. I'm going to exit out of this, and I want to start over a new session. So we want to open up the master zip code feature first. Then we want to open up that Excel spreadsheet that we just made, which is right there. Because we want to join the spreadsheet zip codes with the master zip codes and see if we have 100% matches. In this case, I've got 1,960 records. This is the spreadsheet with the zip code, and then here's the zip code master. It just has the zip codes in it. What we want to do is go to the spreadsheet and join the spreadsheet to the master. So zip code from spreadsheet to the master, ZCT. And then we want to find out, when we right click and open, we want to make sure that we have an XY coordinate and match for every one. And the way we do that is the zip code, and then we do that by right-clicking and sorting it, and we find out that we have a null on the point underscore x. So we need to go and add that point to the master zip code. So we remove the spreadsheet. We want to edit this master points, zip code master points. But first we want to find the location. So it was Leawood, Kansas. Is where we needed I think it was 66209. It finds Leawood, Kansas. Then we zoom to it. We find that there's no zip code master. We then start editing. We copy one of the points. Then we paste it right back to the zip code master point. It's going to copy right on top of that feature. Then we move it, and then we want to add the attribute and change the attribute from the one we copied, which was 66206 to 66209 in both those fields. And then once we do that, we want to save edits and then stop editing. And then we want to then zoom to the whole layer, and then we want to add back the spreadsheet and run that join again to see if we have 100% match. So we hit the join, create the join again, and then right click and ascending and descending on that point X, we find out that there's 100% match. So then we want to export this data once there's 100% match to a table in the database. So we go to the database, and in the Hooper database we want to rename the table now that we want to make, because we want to make features out of it. So we spreadsheet to table to feature. That's how it goes. So we name the table. Now we're working in this events NOVXX. That's our table now, and now from a table, database table, we can make and display XY data, put the X in the display Y data and the Y in the proper fields from the tool, and hit OK. And it should bring up all the features that matched the 1600 or 1960 or whatever it was. Yep. So now you have a feature or you have an event in the database. And now you want the event to become a feature. So spreadsheet to table to event, and then to a feature, events point feature, and add it here. And uncheck the events one, and now you have your feature, your point feature in your database to work with and edit on another session.